All right, so what's your name and how'd you do?
My name is John Allmiller, and I, at the South Park Township Regional near Pittsburgh, it was on March 10th, so it's a little late this is coming out. I got 14th place with Artifact Subterror, so it was pretty spicy.
All right, nice. Let's see it.
All right, cool. Just starting off, 3 Fiendus. It's a searchable hand trap that also flips your guy's face down, and the revival effect comes up sometimes too, where she can book herself and bring something out from hand or grave, so she's amazing. Not technically the best card in the deck, but the most important card of the deck is Guru, because this card just does everything you want it to do. It makes your Hidden City an actual one-card engine, so you don't need non-archetype cards to play. His book effect can come up a lot, too, especially because you can do things like flip their trap, and then his effect becomes a quick effect, so you can book something. And it can be really good for getting your behemoths out of hand to do, like, serious damage. This deck, actually, the way I've set it up, can, if it gets the right setup of cards, can OTK, which is something that Subterrors normally couldn't do until I kind of figured it out. And then the one-ups for, like, utility purposes, we have Archer and Umastrix. Archer's another copy of Guru, kind of, if they blow it up or if you crash with it. The effect to spin actually comes up every now and again, too. It didn't come up, I think I did it once in the tournament, but it was still nice to have it there because it's also just damage, and Umastrix is like your actual boss monster. His banish effect is amazing, and he's huge, especially when you combine him with the trap. For like non-Subterror cards, 3 Ash, it hits everything, which is great. And then 2 Artifact Scythe, because I'm playing Sanctum, or this wouldn't be here, obviously. Scythe ends your opponent's turn, unless they're playing a non-meta deck, and then you just kill them the following turn, which I can show later. And that's pretty much it for the monsters. Played a lower hand trap count because I needed room for the other stuff that you'll see in the trap lineup. Spells, Triple Hidden City. This is probably the second best card in the deck. I'll get flack for saying that. It's one of the 2 best cards in the deck. It just does everything. It searches, it flips your guys on your turn to get you more advantage. The attack negation came up so much in the tournament. Like, I had so many people that just, I don't know if they forgot it was going on or didn't think it was that big of a deal, but I shut down so many attacks with this. Like, I think it was twice in the tournament, I had people low on resources, the one Pen Magician player, and I think Salamangreat, both tried to Boro load me, and then I just negated the attack and then swung over it with my boosted monsters on my turn, so Hidden City was absolutely incredible. And then, of course, 2 Terraforming to get to it because consistency. Also pretty standard right now, Triple Extravagance. I did not touch my extra deck once this weekend. Half of it is just memes. I'm not even kidding. I debated going into something the one round, but it didn't come up. But yeah, it's just pot of greed. It's such a good consistency card. And, of course, Triple Duality, because it's a pot card that doesn't conflict with Extravagance, so you can just dig even deeper to make sure that you see your copies of Hidden City, or at least Guru and Final Battle. And the other choice, I wasn't playing this at first, but 3 Called by the Grave was really good. This came up a lot, because it's great against Salad. It has good utility against Striker, at least, because I got their Ray out of the grave the one game, and that was really impactful. And then the protecting hand traps, because sometimes you'll have hands where your hand is amazing as long as Hidden City resolves. So this can help, like, solidify that. It was just so much utility. That's what I liked about it. And that's it for spells. For traps, 3 Final Battle. I see some people playing 2. I think that is one of the most incorrect things, because this card, it's broken. This is, in my opinion, the best card in the deck. Like, even better than Hidden City. It just does everything that you want it to do. And if you have multiples, it's not once per turn. I also realized some other cute interactions, like if someone light stages this, you just activate it and you get to keep the card because it counts like you're setting a new thing. You can turn off things like Called by the Grave if they're like trying to hit your Fiendus with it. You can chain this in response. This just, between that and the attack and defense increase thing came up a lot. I swung over so many boss monsters with my Guru and my Umastrix that day just because of this thing's attack increase effect. It was incredible. Don't play less than 3. Except when you're like me and 2 games where you just open all 3 and no monsters, but it was worth it. The other best trap in the deck, 3 Sanctum. This summons Scythe, and Scythe ends your opponent's turn. Unless they're playing, like, I played 2 True Draco and a Trickstar player, which was, it didn't really matter that much because it was just another body for them to deal with. I obviously sided it out other games, but it was amazing against Striker. Well, it was good against Striker. Not amazing, but it slowed them down enough that I could get going. The one game. amazing against Salamangreat. They just passed. I did it to a Crusadia Guard Dragon player and then just killed him the next turn, so that was a free game. I lost the match overall, though, which kind of sucked. I'll talk about my matchups when I'm done with that. But yeah, Sanctum was great. And then I was playing in Permanence instead of Veiler, only because I think Veiler's probably a little bit better in this specific format right now, just because like Denko and Reboot are running around everywhere. But the reason for it was because it gave more utility to Trap Trick. And this card was incredible because it can become Sanctum, it can become Final Battle, it can become Impermanence if you really need to negate it, or the cool thing is because you can activate it immediately, you can Trap Trick to grab an Impermanence in the column of a spell or trap that you need to turn off too. So this thing was like just having more search cards for the other half of my deck that wasn't monsters. It was absolutely incredible. Really glad I played 3 copies of it. Except for the one game when I had 5 traps and got rebooted, but it happens. And then my last card, this was very flex, but I played Judgment. I didn't see it all day, except for like one game, and I was already winning, so it kind of sucked because I really would have liked to see this against everyone and their mother that drew red reboot against me, but it didn't really like... There were times where I got rebooted and they still couldn't like kill me that turn, so they just gave me a ton of free card advantage then, and then I just turned them off with my traps after that. But there was like one time where it was actually really, really bad, but... Even so, Reboot has me worrying enough in the future I might try to play less traps, but for this event, having access to like the 6 copies of Sanctum and 6 Final Battles without the rest of your deck's draw engines was just amazing. And yeah, I just like this because it could stop anything, but it didn't really come up. That's it for the main deck. Extra deck, I'm not going to lie, this isn't even exactly the same extra deck that I took to the regionals, but it doesn't really matter. It's just like got Ghost Room memes and everything in here. I summoned nothing from this. It was all just Banished Potter for extravagance. So like I technically had like a Link Karibo in there in case they tried to border me. It gives you an easier way to play around it, but like it really didn't come up because A, I didn't get bordered, and B, I wasn't playing Veilers in this build, which I'm probably going to do in the future. But yeah, it just didn't come up that much. And like I thought the Chimera text would come in because a lot of people like to play Cyber Dragons at regionals, but didn't see them either, which is totally fine. Side deck. 3 Lancia. This card put in more work than it should have, honestly. I ran into 0 Danger Thunder players, and it was still really useful because there was the one game I think it was against Salamangreat, and I had a feeling he was going to bring in evenly against me. So I sided in a single copy of this because you have 3 Sanctum and 3 Trap Trick. I was going first, so it was like having 7 copies of it. And sure enough, I had my Sanctum set. He moved straight to battle phase, and as he was leaving the phase, I just flipped it, summoned Lancia. He didn't read what Lancia did. He tried to evenly. I just tributed it, and so I just 1-for-1 traded with his evenly, which would have outed my board. So Lancia put in amazing work. Also, it made my last round against a Pen Magician player very salty because I turned off his Phantom Knight search with it. As soon as it went to Grave on Resolution, I just discarded this, and he had no way to stop it, and then I just took over the game the next turn because he couldn't Kali Yuga me. So yeah, Lancia was amazing. Triple Pankratops. This card is incredible. It just does everything to the meta, like well, except for like Danger Thunder and stuff like that. But it can hit front row, it can hit back row. It's just really versatile. And I don't know if it was against Salad. It was really impactful against Trickstar because they just couldn't deal with it. I outed like their new Carabanes and everything with it. But yeah, he was good every time I saw him. 3 Droll. Sided it in. I may have resolved it once, but it didn't like I said, I didn't run into any Danger Thunder, so this didn't put it in as much work as I thought it was going to, because I just expected more people to be playing that deck, but it was really like Saladin Striker was a lot heavier at this event, but it worked out fine because I had it if I needed it, but didn't see it all that much. 3 copies of Stormduster. I picked this over Twin, A, because it's like better advantage and you're playing a slower deck, so it's like a +1 as opposed to a 2-for-2. And also, because it's a normal trap, you can search this off Trap Trick too, so it's like playing 6 of it. So you actually see your stuff really reliably because of that. I actually don't think it didn't come up a lot against Salamangreat because I would just grab Sanctum and turn their turn off anyway, but it was there if I needed it. So I resolved it against Striker once, which was like, it was pretty good, but yeah, it was okay. I'm messing around with other stuff though. Evenly. This card was weirdly not useful today. I resolved it once against a Salad player and it was really good. But other than that, like all the times I sided it in, I didn't see it. That was the thing. Like it's still really good in theory because you're playing a control deck and then you just take the game from there as long as they don't have a way to negate it. And then you just set up. So I think I would still play it in the future. I'm going to test it around a little bit, but yeah, I just didn't see it, so it's kind of hard to comment on it. The only other thing I guess I'll show off is like how you can OTK with this deck. So you're probably not going to do it going second, but if you have the one turn of like setting them up and there's really not a way that they can play through it all, which is very likely the case, then you'll just kill them on the following turn. So really all you need is one of your 6 ways to get to Sanctum, because you play Sanctum and Trap Trick. Any way to get to the Hidden City. So you have your bunch of ways of doing that, and of course drawing into all these. And the other reason that I played 3 Fiendus, 3 Guru, and 3 copies of Final Battle was because if you see any one of these cards with Hidden City, it just sets you up completely, because the Hidden City will get you to the other 2 between the Guru search and everything. So really what would happen is you would just like grab your copy of Hidden City, get whichever of these 2 you don't have already, and then Guru gets you the 3rd, or if you had them already, any combination will get you to them. So basically what you do is you end on, sorry if this is like making it a little weird. You end with your Sanctum, your Final Battle, your Guru with the Fiendus live in hand, and then whatever other cards you had. They could be more interrupts. It could just be like ancillary pieces. But on your opponent's turn, what you do then is usually I'll shotgun the Sanctum to bring out the Scythe. And then that stops most X plays like right off the bat there. But if they are like trying to activate anything else, if they try to activate anything, I would then like shotgun the Fiendus as well to make sure that I got the Guru flip face down. Because the important thing is at some point during their turn, you want that Guru flipped up again. You can use Final Battle if they try to attack. You can use Hidden City to flip it, but use whatever means you have to get the Guru flipped again. And then on their turn, Guru will search for your Umastrix, who is the other important piece of the OTK. Because then on your turn, all you have to do is you have the Umastrix in hand, these guys on field. Guru books itself and the Scythe. So now a monster is flipped face down. You don't control anything face up, so Umastrix can come out in defense mode. It uses its own effect to flip itself down. You can then use your Hidden City effect to flip it up and probably banish a monster. And because you only use the card effect to adjust these guys' battle positions, you can just flip them back up again. And Guru plus Scythe plus Umastrix boosted with the Final Battle to 47 is like 8,500 damage if I remember correctly. So I just did this so many times all day. It was the only one, like I said, I lost the match to, but it was just the quickest thing ever against the Crusadia Guard Dragon player that I played game 1. I just scythed him. He set a card and passed. I think I already had the Umastrix in hand, so I didn't have to try and negate anything with Fiendus, and just ran over, banished the face-down monster, and killed him right there. But then games 2 and 3 weren't as kind. As far as my matchups go, I played, it was 9 rounds, but I played, I think it was 2 True Draco, a Trickstar player, not in this order, 2 Salamangreat player, Sky Striker player, let me see, what else was it? Pen Magician, and what were the last 2? The Crusadia Guard Dragon player, and, oh yeah, the 9th one was one of the rounds that I lost, was the mirror match, because I just wasn't familiar with it. Turns out I probably should have gone second with it, just the way that my side was. I could have out-resourced him at that point. But yeah, my only losses all day were the mirror match, which he 2-0'd me, and then it was 2-1 against the Crusadia Guard Dragon player. But yeah, 1 out against the Sky Striker player, which was really, really close, because our game 2 took forever, but I managed to get it in game 3. And then took out 2-0'd one of the Salamangreat players, 2-1 the other one, because he opened very well game 2. Both of the True Draco players, I was really worried about that matchup, but each of them kind of had a bad game, either between 1 or 2. I think I 2-0'd both of them, but they each had a hand where it was like 2 monsters and carded demise, so rip. But other than that, I was scared of that matchup, but I had so much side deck hate for them between Pankratops, Evenly, Duster, that it made me feel a lot better going into games 2 and 3, and they weren't an issue because of it. The Trickstar player was also fairly close, I want to say. We only went into 2 games because of it, but a lot of the second game was just me, my Guru versus his Candina trying to out each other with our other cards, and then eventually I won that one out. But yeah, other than that, the deck performed really well. I definitely think I want to retool it. I don't know if I'd play the artifacts again in the future. The weaknesses I learned from that were that drawing Scythe sucks because I debated mating Duster instead of the Called by the Grave, but the odds of you seeing the Scythe and the Duster and actually wanting to, or because you can see Scythe and Trap Trick a lot, but every time you see that, you usually just want to go to the Sanctum anyway. And that's the other reason I played 2 Scythes, is because I didn't want to draw Scythe and have my 6 copies of Sanctum be dead. It was just too important to play the second one. Other than that, really, it was just, yeah, drawing him was bad, so I think I'd try and find cards other than the artifacts that are really good at stopping my opponent in the future. And I want to play maybe more hand traps and less, like, actual traps, because Reboot was really dangerous a lot of games. It only, like, outright killed me the one, but I'd like more freedom with my plays in the future, but, like, other than that, it performed really well, so, and I got a lot out of the thing, so it's worth trying. Yeah. If you don't think you're going to get rebooted all day, definitely give it a shot, because the deck's, like, scary powerful then. But yeah, that's really all I got.
All right.